Look at you!
7 gods and godlike beings from Power Rangers lore explained. In a universe where teenagers with serious moves can tap into a wild energy field and pilot giant robotic animals, it might make most of us think nothing could truly feel divine. But every now and then, Power Rangers pulls back the curtain to show us the ultimate cosmic beings, or the entities that don't just use the Morphin Grid, they actually shape it. Upon a deeper dive, you can say that some of these beings created the power coins, Dino Gems, and Energems that made Rangers a thing in the first place, while others are worshipped as real gods by ancient kingdoms or lead massive alliances of villains that make entire galaxies shake when they show up. And in the comics, a few have gone from being mysterious mentors to full-on multiversal deities who can put reality back together after it falls apart. Today we're diving into 7 gods and godlike figures from Power Rangers lore, both from the TV series and Boom Studios comics, to see and understand who they are, what they can do, and why even the most experienced Rangers look at them with a mixture of respect and fear. So, buckle up, because we're heading from the streets of Angel Grove straight to the heart of the Morphin Grid. The Morphin Masters, creators of Ranger Power. The Morphin Masters, or just the Masters, first appeared in Episode 7, Big Sisters of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. However, speaking chronologically, they first appeared in the episode Destination Dino Henge of Power Rangers Dino Fury. They are these really old beings that stayed in the Morphin Grid, keeping it safe from all sorts of trouble. They played a big role in making the power sources that different Ranger teams have used throughout time and space. You can say that these ageless beings had incredible powers, and were behind the creation of the Ninja Nexus Prism that gave the Ninja Steel Rangers their abilities. It is also known by most Power Rangers fans that they created the Dino Gems for the Dino Rangers and the Energems for the Dino Charge Rangers. Zordon, this galactic wizard of Eltar, describes them as ancient sorcerers who tossed some power eggs into the sea millions of years ago. They hid a whole universe of power in these mystical eggs, hoping that their ancestors would look after them and protect them from cosmic threats. When the Sporix beasts were giving the Knights of Rafkon and their dinosaur buddies a hard time, 6 Morphin Masters popped out of a portal and gave the Knights the powers of the new Dino Fury Power Rangers. They even turned the dinosaurs into Zords for the Rangers. After that, they left, and the Dino Fury Rangers managed to seal the Sporix beasts back in their eggs without much trouble. However, in the 2016 Power Rangers comic, the Morphin Masters, also called the Masters or the First Ones, are shown as an ancient group that studies the Morphin Grid. They have these crystals called Morphin Hearts, and live near places called Master Forges. It is said in the comic lore that these folks have been around since the universe was created, devoting their time to understanding how the Morphin Grid works across all the different universes. When the universe was born, they even made a trio of emissaries from the light of a star to represent them to mortals, a red, a blue, and a yellow.
I am giving you back your wild Zords.
Thank you, Animus.
Animus, the lion god of Animaria. Animus is like this god-level Megazord who Princess Shayla says is the great-great-granddaddy of the Wild Force Rangers' Wild Force Megazord. That's just how most fans would sum it up. Anyways, back to the basics, he made his first appearance in episode 14 of Power Rangers Wild Force, called Identity Crisis, and he showed up as a spirit. Usually he helps out the Rangers when they're in a tough spot, but since he got destroyed 3,000 years ago, he mostly does this in spirit form. The Rangers ended up bringing him back after they accidentally released him from a dark dimension, when he was in the form of a kid named Kite. In his full Megazord form, Animus combines 5 ancient wild Zords, a black lion, a condor, a saw shark, a buffalo, and a jaguar. He comes packed with moves like the Animarian bow, and swings a huge sword made from the saw shark's blade. Other than that, Animus is pretty chill and wise, but he can lose his cool sometimes. One example is when he decided to test the Wild Force Rangers' commitment to protecting the Earth by secretly taking away their wild Zords. He got this idea from the orgs messing with him while he was pretending to be Kite, and it really put the Rangers in a tough position. When he's pretending to be Kite, he looks like a fair-skinned kid with brown hair dressed in regular human clothes, a blue-black hooded jacket over a black, tan, and white striped shirt, along with black shoes and white pants. But after everyone finds out who he really is, he starts wearing white clothes to show off his almost godlike status. Dark Spectre, Emperor of Evil. Dark Spectre, also known as the Grand Monarch of Evil, is a big deal in the universe and a major villain in the Power Rangers series. He first appears in the episode From Out of Nowhere Part 1 of Power Rangers in Space, and serves as the main bad guy during the Zordon era, as well as a key antagonist. Not much is known about how Dark Spectre became this Grand Monarch of Evil. At one point he was just a disembodied spirit trapped outside the main dimension. However, he managed to rally various evil factions, including the evil space aliens, the Machine Empire, and Divatox's crew, into what he called the United Alliance of Evil, ruling them with fear. Even though we rarely see him in action and don't know the full extent of his powers, Dark Spectre was considered the most powerful villain of the Zordon era, and possibly the strongest villain up until that time. He had everyone shaking in their boots, including Zed, Rita, Queen Machina, King Mondo, and Divatox. I mean, at one point his name alone made Divatox drop her search for the Turbo Rangers. He has some cool powers like lightning teleportation, where he can appear or disappear in blue lightning bolts, shoot fireballs from his mouth, and project his face into the sky during episodes like The Delta Discovery and Astronema Thinks Twice. By the way, he is also part of the 2016 comic, where he is a major force of evil behind the Psycho Rangers, and even manipulates Trek, who used to be the supersonic Green Ranger, into turning on his own team. To deliver his orders, he usually uses an avatar. You can say that Dark Spectre's influence is a backdrop in the Power Rangers mythology, which often intersects with events tied to the Morphin Grid. In Power Rangers universe, early experiments with the grid involve characters like the Morphinaut, leading the first Rangers to make a significant sacrifice that transforms them into higher energy beings due to their exposure to the grid. While Dark Spectre embodies primordial evil, in some storylines, such as the Shattered Grid, which focuses on Lord Drakon, he is not the central figure. Instead, he functions as part of a larger ecosystem of threats, opposing the balance maintained by Morphin Masters, rather than being the sole force behind major events. Imagine if he is defeated. That will totally reshape the cosmic balance.
No! Only the good energy from my tube can destroy the forces of evil.
Zordon, the Cosmic Mentor. Zordon might seem easy to overlook since we mostly see him as a giant blue head giving speeches to teens from a tube. But if you really check out what he does, he definitely deserves a spot on any list of godlike beings in the universe. So, who is he? Well, he is from Eltar, and he is a super wise galactic wizard who fought against evil for the good, of course. He mentored the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Zeo Rangers, and the first group of Turbo Rangers. He first shows up in the very first episode of Season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Day of the Dumpster. As the wise mentor for the early Ranger teams, Zordon shares info about their monsters and gives them battle advice. He even sets up contingency plans, like creating the power chamber and mentoring Gosei and Tensu for emergencies. In the 1995 movie, Zordon set up a command center in Angel Grove, California, to help fight against evil with Alpha 5. He recruited 6 teenagers to become a super team, giving them powers, armor, and Zords to take down villains like Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed. When they face Ivan Ooze, a powerful demon, he attacks the command center, making Zordon age really fast. The Rangers end up traveling to Phaedos, where they gain a legendary great power with the help of Master Warrior Dulcea. After defeating Ivan Ooze, they come back to find Zordon has died, but they use the great power to bring him back and restore the command center. Now, I know Zordon isn't a physical powerhouse like Dark Spectre, but his connection to the Morphin Grid, even his impact on the Ranger legacy, is on a whole different level. Throughout multiple series, he's the main mentor and strategist, guiding the creation and use of Ranger powers. From the original Dino Zords to the shift into Zeo, Zordon plays a key role in managing and adapting these systems, even if he's not always the one creating them. His importance really stands out in Power Rangers in Space, especially when Dark Spectre captures him, setting the whole story in motion. The Space Rangers spend the season trying to rescue him, highlighting just how vital he is to maintaining balance in the universe. The moment that really defines him happens in Countdown to Destruction. When they come to know that the United Alliance of Evil has pretty much won, Zordon makes a tough call. He tells Andros to destroy his energy tube. When that happens, the Z-Wave spreads across the universe, taking out tons of evil forces, while purifying others like Rita Repulsa, Lord Zed, and Astronema. It's one of the biggest events ever shown in the Power Rangers. Not just a battle, but a huge reset. What happens after that is a bit unclear. Later seasons such as Power Rangers Dino Thunder and Power Rangers Cosmic Fury reference Zordon's legacy and hint at a continued link to the Morphin Grid, but it's never clearly confirmed if his consciousness survives or if he directly influences things from within the grid.
It's not fatal, but the pain will be punishing.
Daiishi, the Beast God's spirit. Daiishi is the main bad guy in Power Rangers Jungle Fury and has made his appearance since the very first episode. He's an ancient, evil Chinese dragon with 8 heads, and his goal is to wipe out humanity and take over the world with beasts. He embodies pure animal rage and chaos, coming off as super sadistic, arrogant, and totally ruthless with zero humor. When he first breaks free from his seal, he has to use this guy named Jared as his human host. Daiishi makes it clear to Jared that he plans to destroy him and all humans once he regains his true form, because Jared isn't on board with his plans. Despite taking control of Jared, some of Jared's human side starts to influence Daiishi. For example, he shows some compassion for Camille and even kicks Wigger out for not beating the Red Ranger of Jungle Fury. With the help of his Phantom Beast generals, Daiishi manages to wipe out Jared's good side, turning himself into the Phantom Beast King. When you look at it, Daiishi's also a total ingrate. I mean, he doesn't care about loyalty, just about his followers getting results. He despises anyone scheming against him, even if it's for his own good, like when he punishes Scorch and Snapper for their plot. He's strategic, willing to wait and train for power, and sees Camille, whom Jared has feelings for, as just a tool he'll toss aside when he's done with her. What makes Daiishi feel almost godlike isn't just his crazy power, it's how that power keeps evolving. He starts off using Zokato, a raw and aggressive energy, making him way stronger than most of the Ranger's foes. As time goes on, he ups his game by mastering Rinzin, a more advanced and dangerous power tied to the Phantom Beasts. Thanks to Jared, Daiishi becomes even more unstoppable. He taps into animal spirits, absorbs energy from the Paizhua Masters, and eventually transforms back into his true form, a giant multi-headed beast that represents the peak of his strength. At this point, he can even overpower Megazords, turning battles into life-or-death struggles for the Rangers. The finale, Now the Final Fury, strongly reinforces this idea. The Paizhua Masters actually sacrifice their own animal spirits to try to stop him, but Daiishi just absorbs that power and gets even stronger. When it seems like evil is going to win, we see Jared somehow managing to break through from the inside so that the Rangers finally get a shot. Casey, Theo, and Lily pool their best chi and unleash one final attack to take him down. It's more important to note that Daiishi's power comes from the chi-based system of the series, not the Morphin Grid. His abilities are tied to spiritual energy and animal spirits, evolving into something darker with Rinzin. So even though he's treated like a mythical figure within the story, worshipped, feared, and nearly unstoppable, he's still connected to the same system as the heroes, just taken to the extreme.
It is time to get the Rangers' attention! Attack the city!
Master Vile, Ancient Emperor of Dark Magic. If Rita Repulsa is the Wicked Witch of the franchise, then Master Vile is like the ancient warlock, hiding in the shadows. He first pops up in Mighty Morphin Season 3 as Rita and Rito's father, and the ruler of the planet Gamma Vile in the M51 galaxy. When Master Vile shows up in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he definitely doesn't tiptoe in. He takes over right away. He storms into the Moon Palace, all furious about Rita marrying Lord Zed, and pretty soon he's the one in charge. If he has arrived, there must be a big goal, right? Well, it is none other than the Zeo Crystal, one of the series' most powerful artifacts, and believe it or not, he actually manages to catch it, which is rare for villains. He even throws this wild end-of-the-world party at the youth center to celebrate. In battles, he's just as tough. After growing to giant size, he goes up against the Shogun Megazord and the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord, holding his own against both. He's durable, powerful, and more hands-on than most villains, even if he doesn't take them out in one shot. But what really makes an impact isn't his strength, it's his magic. In the episode Rangers in Reverse, Master Vile uses the Orb of Doom to turn back time, turning the Rangers into kids and effectively taking them out of the fight. That game-changing move resets everything and directly leads into the Alien Rangers storyline. It's a rare moment where a villain doesn't just win a fight, he rewrites the whole game. As far as his skills are concerned, Master Vile is all about that dark magic. He can cast spells, teleport, create monsters, and mess with reality on a big scale. Compared to other straightforward villains like the Machine Empire, he feels more like a chaotic sorcerer who's been at this for a long time. In the comics, his character gets expanded in different ways, but there's no solid story linking his origins to Dark Spectre or the Morphin Grid. Fans often speculate about these connections, but they're not officially confirmed. So while Master Vile isn't a cosmic-level threat, he's definitely one of the most dangerous magical villains in the franchise, not just because of his power, but because he can change the entire game so easily. All in all, one can say that Master Vile was a ruthless, power-hungry guy known for his sneaky strategies in his quest for galactic domination. Even though he wasn't around for long, he turned out to be a tough opponent for the Rangers by boosting the Tenga Warriors and snagging the Zeo Crystals and Zords. His impatience often led to childish outbursts when things didn't go his way, and after getting defeated, he beat a hasty retreat to his conquered galaxy. The Emissaries, cosmic agents of the Morphin Grid. Once you dive into Boom Studios comics, you'll quickly see how the world of Power Rangers really opens up, especially with the introduction of the Emissaries. These cosmic beings were created by the Morphin Masters to act as middlemen between the Morphin Grid and our universe. They're not your typical Rangers, but more like living conduits that channel the Grid's power and share its messages. They're basically like the modern version of the Squadron Rangers from way back in the day. There are 3 main emissaries, red, blue, and yellow, and each is linked to one of the core Ranger colors. Their forms are pretty fluid, often taking on looks that mix different Ranger suits from all over time, showing their connection to the Grid as a whole rather than just one team. They also have a unique way of experiencing time, perceiving events from various eras and timelines, which gives them a distant, almost detached vibe toward the Rangers they're supposed to guide. This detachment plays a big role during the Shattered Grid storyline. When Lord Drakon starts to cause serious trouble, the emissaries initially don't think he's that big of a deal. They, like the Morphin Masters, figure that no one person can really jeopardize the Morphin Grid. They find out they're wrong. As things get worse, the emissaries have to step up, helping guide the Rangers through a collapsing reality and sharing insights on stabilizing the Grid. They don't fix everything themselves, but they play a crucial role in linking the Rangers to the larger cosmic forces in play. After Shattered Grid, their roles just keep expanding. The Blue Emissary even brings Jason on board to form the Omega Rangers, sending them into space to tackle threats posed by unstable Morphin energy. Meanwhile, other emissaries are busy checking out even bigger cosmic dangers, like the Imperials, who are super powerful beings that can wipe out whole worlds. While the emissaries are on a totally different level than most characters, they're not unbeatable. They can be taken down, and there's still a lot we don't know about them, especially what happens when they're destroyed. So while fans often call them gods of the Grid, a better way to think about them is that they're not the creators of the system, but they're definitely the closest thing it has to a voice. What's our takeaway from this? Well, what I think is that the Power Rangers universe is way more than just colorful suits and fighting random monsters every week. There's a whole world of stories behind every Morpher and Zord, filled with creators, guardians, beast gods, and dark emperors, all vying for control of the Morphin Grid, which basically shapes reality. From the Morphin Masters crafting cool artifacts at the start of time, to Animus deciding if humans are worthy of their Zords, to Zordon's big final push to erase evil, the Rangers are really just a part of a bigger battle that stretches across dimensions, timelines, and the core forces of their universe. So here's a question. If we already know some of these powerful beings, who do you think is still lurking out there in the Morphin Grid just waiting for the right moment to make their move? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.